Hello. It's been an interesting year for seasons this year. We had a warm and dry spring, we had a hot and dry summer, now we've had a warm and wet autumn. And as a meteorological change of season approaches, looks like the weather will start to change as well. Certainly a different flavour to autumn as we begin Tuesday. We haven't got the wet and windy weather first thing, we've got the frosty and in places foggy weather. Certainly a widespread frost across Scotland, Northern Ireland, Western England and Wales. Temperatures around 2 to -3 or 4 Celsius depending on your location. And there'll be some dense fog patches in these areas as well, on and off fog from place to place. But more extensive low cloud and mistiness will affect central and eastern parts of England, and because of the cloud cover here overnight it may well be a frost-free start to the day. But that low cloud and mist could last throughout Tuesday. Through these areas it would be a grey old day with temperatures struggling under that thick low cloud. And those fog patches further north and west will also persist in places, for example through the central belt or parts of Wales. But away from the low cloud, mist and fog, actually plenty of bright blue skies, particularly across northern Scotland, parts of northwest England and West Wales, Cornwall and Devon. And where we get the sunshine, temperatures in the north at 8 or 9 Celsius, in the south 11 or 12 degrees. Most places dry and settled then on Tuesday, just 1 or 2 showers close to the far southeast. Then, as we head into Tuesday night, this weather front approaches from the west. Now, given what we've seen so much of during recent weeks, you might expect this to bring another spell of wet weather in from the Atlantic. But something's changed in the upper atmosphere. The jet stream, it has been so powerful, crossing the Atlantic, bringing us weather front after weather front, low pressure after low pressure. However, by midweek, it's starting to weaken, and that means this weather front is going to make limited progress into the west of the UK. In fact, it comes up against an emerging large area of high pressure over Scandinavia. That's going to block the weather front from pushing east and keep the rain really confined to Northern Ireland and parts of western Scotland during Wednesday. A cloudy and, in places, damp start to the day with a freshening breeze. Not a great deal of rain, though. And elsewhere across the UK, some frost and fog patches once again first thing, some low cloud lingering through central and eastern parts, but otherwise another dry and settled day with temperatures at this stage trending downwards. Single figures for most, again 10 or 11 Celsius possible in the south where we get some sunshine. I mentioned the jet stream is starting to weaken, and you can really see the effect of that on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. As it weakens, it becomes much more wriggly, it becomes more amplified across the Atlantic, no longer this powerful straight line bringing us weather systems in. As it becomes more wriggly, these weather systems fail to impact the UK. In fact, higher pressure develops to the west and to the north of the UK, blocking these fronts, sending them to the south, and we end up influenced by this area of high pressure instead, with its easterly winds. So that means that for Thursday, with those easterlies developing, perhaps some showers around eastern coasts and a frost and fog free start to the day here. Drier further west with some frost and fog patches. Still some of that rain lingering around the Western Isles perhaps for a time. And it's here where we'll see the mildest air coming up from the south. But elsewhere the temperatures are trailing downwards because of the easterly breeze, mid to high single figures at best. And that trend continues into Friday. In fact, a more pronounced easterly breeze will bring fairly extensive cloud into central and eastern parts, as well as some showers. The best of any sunshine after any early fog lifts will be in the west. And for most, with that easterly breeze, certainly going to feel chilly. There'll be showers popping up just about anywhere, but most of them will be affecting the east and the southeast. And with those showers and the extensive cloud, well, we're going to feel much colder than it has felt recently. Actual temperatures 6, 7, 8 Celsius. When you add on the effect of that wind, it will feel more like 2 to 4 Celsius on Friday afternoon. So feeling colder than it has done for some time. It's been a really quite mild autumn. Then, heading towards the weekend, and we keep that general pattern with the easterly breezes coming in around the high pressure over Scandinavia. And as a result, we'll see further showers coming in. Blues indicate cold air, but only a little below average as far as temperatures are concerned. It looks like through the weekend, showers will be falling as rain at lower levels, with snow confined to the Pennines above 400 metres, Scottish mountains again above about 400 metres or so. Later in the weekend, those levels could start to come down again, because as long as we've got this easterly wind, it will import colder than average air. And although it's too early to give specifics for, say, next week, it is possible to say that it looks most likely we'll see this kind of weather setup, where we've got higher pressure to the north, lower pressure to the south, a higher chance of easterly winds rather than westerlies, and colder than average weather, more likely than warmer than average weather. So of course, as we go through next week, that increases the likelihood of some snow in some places, but way too early to give specifics about that kind of thing more than a week ahead. What we can say is that easterly winds will arrive at the end of this week. It won't be a beast from the east at this stage. The weather simply isn't going to be cold enough, but it will be a marked contrast compared with the autumn so far.